We're hopping into DadBod game development. Sadly, not with the daughter today. She was screaming all morning, so I didn't get to stream with her this morning. So we're just doing a quick 30-minute stream right now. I have a very clear intention. I'm also kind of testing out a couple of different automations based on me going live. And we're going to see if they work. If they do work, awesome. Be great. Oh, you're taking your time. Guess I'm doing a lot of different things right now. Did I crash Godot? Might have. I've never seen it take this long to load. Yep. Here it goes. Crash. Ah, interesting. Ooh. Oh no, maybe not. It's just right here. Okay. Interesting. That was weird. All right. So, I mean, what we have been working on has been just adding multiplayer into the game, just getting it working. And I mean, I think it's been we've been making a ton of progress over the past little bit. And honestly, just double checking actually that it worked. Look at that. It actually posted. Yeah, it posted on Twitter for me. Let's fetch and go. That's awesome. Great. My automation, all the things, all the steps of my automation worked as intended. Let's go. That's awesome. All right, so we're working on DadBod game development, multiplayer. Last time I worked on it, I can't remember if I streamed it or not, but I was working on voting. Yeah, I did stream it. I was working on like voting in the question system, and so we got that working, which is amazing. I feel like Godot has made it super easy to build multiplayer games, and I salute them for that because it's not easy to make all of this just work, you know? But they've done it. They've achieved it. It's there. So I've got this guy. I can join the game with this other guy. We've got some things, some kinks that we can figure out, but here we go. So I can move around. I can pick up some experience. It's not synced yet, but that's okay. And now we're here. Dang it, I don't want this kind of question. We're just going to submit. Should be incorrect. We'll submit over here too. We'll give the pew pewer. Okay, let's get some more experience. Let's kill this wasp. Boom. All right, so now I can vote. And it says 1-5 on each of these. Technically, that should be blank until someone's actually voting. But let's say that player 1 votes here. Player 2 has a different vote. Oh, it started the timer. Yeah, so that's about that we got to figure out. Because it shouldn't have started the timer there. Not everyone had voted. Just give ourselves an annotate or something like that. But we were able to vote. Let's level up again. Oh. So it looks like we might have another bug where it automatically selects a question for us, which shouldn't really happen. Oh, it's getting hard to level up. Level up. Okay, so it automatically selects the first question for us. Okay, so we need to clear out our data. All right. Well, I mean, that gives us a very clear intention for this next little bit here. Awesome. We need to clear the data when question is answered. Clear data when question is answered. Don't start timer until everyone has voted. All right, let's do it. So first things first, we have our question control. And let's see how easily I pick back up from where I was. It's honestly one of the biggest things when you're building a multiplayer game is keeping track of what's running on the server, what's running on the client, what's running on both. And hopefully my documentation, it will help me know what's running where. So we have our question control. And the question control is this guy, right? It handles all the logic that has to do with showing the question, loading in the question, showing the different answers, all that good stuff. So what we're going to do then is just take a look. Okay, so right, so technically it shouldn't start the timer until votes.size is equal to multiplayer.getPeers.size. However, so this will be called on all peers when a peer has voted on an answer. Updates the UI to reflect the vote on all peers. Moves the player ID's vote from the previous answer if they voted on a new answer. Okay. Yep. Add the vote to the answer and update the votes dictionary. Okay. All right, quick question. Selection time delay. This should be a one shot. Okay, so that's probably why it was instantly answering the question again, is because this was just, once I started it just every 3 seconds it would go off. And we don't want that. We want it to go exactly one time and stop. So that should resolve some of the problems. We still have the issue where it was just selecting. So which would be, okay, so if we look at the on selection, delay timer timeout, answers voted, which is up here. All of the players have voted on and selected an answer to the question. This will only be called on the server. So if we're not the multiplayer server, we stop. So this will only be run on the server. It's a better way to say it. Okay, so we got the get this selected answer based on votes. Randomly remove votes until there's one left. Okay. So the next thing to do after we've done answer select RPC is just votes.clear. And we want to get rid of all of the votes that were there, right? Yep, we want to get rid of all the votes. So don't start the timer until everyone has voted. I don't know what's wrong with there. Clear data when questions answered. Boom, that's done. Our next step then would be, actually, let's take a quick step back, because something I wanted to do is build a multiplayer voting system that can be reused in multiple places that I can just interact with. Because I'm going to need this ability to vote on things in multiple. I can see myself needing it in multiple areas. I'd rather just build the ability, like a generalized system for it, than have it just be ingrained and embedded inside of this question control. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to build a vote system. So we got all of our systems. I'm going to create a new folder. Vote system. Well, you know what? Let's play some music. I think I like the chill. It's a lot of fun. All right, so we're going to create a new vote system node. I'm going to give it script, and we're going to call that good. All right, so I don't care about process. Maybe I care about ready. I'm not 100% sure though. But let's see. So just thinking through the vote system. Now I like to think of this in terms of triggers, sources, actions. Right. So what are, or outcomes might be a better way to describe it. So what endpoints, what actions can outside entities take on the voting system? And I mean, first and foremost, they can vote. And we'll say that people will be voting on an index. All right. So people can vote. The next thing might be, I mean, we can just kind of take a look at the control system and all the things that happen there. Where we want to store a list of our votes, as we do here. So mapping from player ID to the index of the answer they voted for. Okay, so people can vote. Then we need to have this system here where from my perspective, it looks like this is going to be an outbound call. So we have our system and it's going to execute a function outside of itself when answers are voted. So it's got this answers voted. I can kind of just copy this code. The other thing is this won't work. So we're going to need a func answer selected. Which should resolve that issue. And this will need to be an RPC call local. So basically recreating this piece here, boom, these two functions, and where we at? This function on answer voted, which is the same as our vote. I'll say that we do need the player ID and we do need the index. So the flow then is that players will vote. It'll fill this votes dictionary. We can actually probably just copy this bad boy. So this answer controls votes, remove player ID. So, okay, so it looks like we're going to need a couple of signals. So signals are what we use to call a function outside of the system itself. And we can subscribe to those signals, connect to them to respond and update things based on whatever the system says. So in our case, we have I'm seeing right now two signals that need to occur. First and foremost, we have, I'm going to call it answer selected. instead of vote answer, I might call this like assess votes. And then this calls answer selected on everybody, which then actually calls, which will then do our answer selected index. Yep. So one index in here. Good. So that's our first signal. The second signal is new vote, player ID, index. Calls vote removed, and vote added. Okay. If player ID is in the votes, then what we're going to do is we're going to emit the signal vote removed. Emit player ID, votes player ID. And we're going to vote added player ID index. Okay. If multiplayer is server and votes.size is equal to multiplayer to get peers.size, then we'll just immediately assess the votes. Otherwise, we're going to do this selection delay timer. And I'm just going to attack timer on here. Make it 3 seconds again. I'm going to add a couple of things here. So first, we're going to add a func set selection delay, like that. Okay, so we can set our selection delay. We have vote added, player ID index. Why are you? Oh, right. Okay. Now we are going to connect the timeout. There we go. Okay, and when the selection delay timer times out, we are going to assess the votes. So select answer is going to be answer selected.emit. We're going to assess our votes. Okay, so there's something wrong with this code because it was still running even though only one person had clicked on something, which means our peer count excuse me, our peer count then is, the server's peer count is going to be 1, but there's 2 people, which is why the votes.size didn't really work. So we're just going to add 1 to this. And hope that that doesn't break everything. Okay. All right, let's copy the doc strings over here from the question control. So we have our vote. So we got all peers and peers voted on an answer. Just you had to reflect the vote on peers. Here's the player ID's vote from a previous answer if they have voted on a new answer. Okay, so that is still accurate. Okay. Next up, we have assess votes, which is our answers voted. And last but not least, we have select answer. This is change and index. Answer select. All right. Okay, so we're building a multiplayer voting system. We've tried to tackle the don't start the timer until everyone has voted. Whether or not it has actually worked is another question entirely. All right, so now that we have our vote system, now we need to start wiring things up and connecting our question control to the vote system. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to, when the question system starts, it'll link up with the vote system, and then it will disconnect everything from the vote system. So we just have we're bookending here. We have a start, we have a finish, and the vote system, since it's generalized, can be used in multiple places, which means these signals, for example, if I were to connect them and they lasted indefinitely, it could interrupt or cause unknown consequences in the question system. For example, if I were voting on a behavior, new item to acquire as a player, and the question system was still listening, it could cause us problems. So we need a very clear beginning and end so that we can connect to the vote system and disconnect from the vote system as we desire. So first and foremost, to make it easy to get access to the vote system, what we're going to do is we're going to look for globals. Oh, I don't capital G. There we go. There, vote system. I'm actually going to get this. All right, so vote system, and when you're ready, we're going to do globals.vote system is equal to 7. Okay. Great. I guess that's the question. Do I need to do that, or can I just load the vote system as a singleton? Let's just load it in as a singleton. Model load. Yeah, system, vote system. Okay. So we gotta get rid of you. Okay, so we got our vote system. And it will always exist. Perfect. Okay, so we've got our vote system. It's got all of our signals. Now let's just wire it all up to our question control. So at the top here, we've got set question, and this is the akin to our start. This is like here we get the gun. So we are going to, in this process, I'm going to create a function for setup vote system. And tear down vote system. I'll flip these around. Vote system setup. Vote system tear down. Okay. So this function is going to link up all functions. So wire up all vote system signals to the appropriate functions. Should be called exactly once. When a question is set. Question is answered. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So okay. Lost my train of thought. Okay, we want a call vote system set up. Up here. And we want a call vote system tear down once an answer is selected. I have a function for this, don't I? Question answered. Boom. Right there. Just gonna copy you, put you up here. Starting around, they're kind of in the same spot. System tear down. I'm using you anyway. Seems like I start you, but I don't actually do anything with you. Yeah, it's not connected to anything. Okay. So I can see the value in having a timer that will just count down and force something, but I'd actually put that into the vote system instead of this question control. So that even if there's like an aft player away from keyboard player, like it'll force a result at some point in time. So let me add that to the to-do list. Timer to vote system to force and answer after such period. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Ron Wolf. And by the way, this is being recorded. All of my streams are now going to both Twitch and YouTube, so if you ever want to watch any of these streams, you can go to both. I plan on streaming pretty much every day though, so even if you miss one, like I wouldn't worry overly much about missing a stream, just because I'll be streaming again the next day. I just find I build faster, and I'm also able to learn how I'm teaching. I learn how I can teach better the functions the way that I program. So it's kind of a win-win, I think, for everybody, hopefully. Anyone who wants to hop in and just listen and build along. Yeah, I'll add an automation that publishes it to the DadBod Discord server as well, as well as Twitter. So, okay, so I don't have much time left, honestly, because I wasn't able to stream this morning for an hour. I kind of only gave myself 30-ish minutes to stream now. So, I mean, we built our vote system. Let's finish just wiring it up, and then maybe see if we can test it in the next 9-ish minutes, so that we can, well, just see if what we did actually works as intended. Sets the delay. Multiple. There's our default is 3 seconds. Okay, so we got some good docs. All right, we have our vote system set up. We have our vote system tear down. All right, vote system set up. We basically need to link up the answer selected, vote removed, vote added. Kind of all the same things we have over here. So scroll it down to the bottom. We have all of our signals here. We no longer need this selection delay timer timeout. I'm going to get rid of both of these. Get rid of both of these. Okay. We shouldn't need votes anymore. Perfect. Move this down to the bottom. Okay. All right, so we don't need this. All right, so func on vote system answer selected. Calls question answered. Answer controls. Like that. Func on vote system vote removed. Okay, so vote is removed. We want to update the UI, and the only UI thing that needs to be updated is our answer controls, index, remove vote. On vote system vote added. Yeah, the vote. There we go. So we should be able to get rid of all of this. Oh wait. Nope, we don't want to get rid of it. What we want to do is do vote system dot vote. Okay. Yep, so this is still called from like when I click on a button, when I select one of them, it'll call this vote system.vote for me. Okay. And I call you ever. Unanswered selected. Okay. So I connected the selected to unanswered selected, which calls question answered. That's right. Okay, so I don't want this to call question answered because I want to play the UI update to show like, hey, we answered this correctly, and then it'll call this question answered. So there's an additional step in here. I should actually do answer controls index select, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, select, which will then call the selected, which will hop us back to this. Which we call question answered. All right. Vote system as assessed the votes and selected an answer. Animation on single answer control. Okay. And vote table list label. Okay, that should make it not have that 1.5 on everything, because we definitely don't want that. Okay, oh man, it's already been 9 minutes, dang it. Okay, so unanswered selected index is correct. We've got our vote system. linked up. I guess actually. Yeah, so when an answer is clicked, the answer control voted, then it calls vote system.vote. I'm going to move these around. So they're kind of like in sequential order. So the first thing a player is going to do is they're going to vote. Right, so they're going to click on one of those buttons, which we'll call this function, which we'll call vote system.vote, which hops over here, using the player ID, stores their vote, removes it if necessary, which will actually hop back over to on vote system vote removed. So I'll move these up as well. Okay, which will add, we'll emit these two signals, which we'll call these two functions. If it's the server, it'll assess the votes or start a timer to assess the votes, which is this function. And it'll just randomly select an answer, which will call this select answer on all peers, which we'll call this on vote system answer selected on all peers, answer controls index select. So this is just on all peers that says, here's the thing we selected. Run the selection animation so we know that it was clicked, that was the one that was voted on. Next up, it's going to, we could probably add some additional UI in here that like in this assess votes that counts down and like slowly removes votes so people can see the voting process in action. And over the long run, that's probably what I'm going to want to do. For now, I'm okay with it just kind of people voting and then maybe it counting down for 3 seconds and then selecting an answer based on the votes that are there. But we really, for end users, for end goal, having that countdown process is going to be very important because users need to see visual feedback. Otherwise, they will people get so confused by UIs if it just doesn't make very incredibly clear sense what is happening. Like if they voted on something else and someone else voted on something, like let's say 3 people voted on option A, 1 person voted on option B, and option B was the one that was chosen, everyone would be like, okay, how does this work? Like, that shouldn't have happened. When in reality, the way that I'm doing it is that there's a 25% chance that option B is the one that gets selected. So just showing the step-by-step how it's choosing the one to vote for will help all the users just like, okay, yeah, I get it. I'm following. So maybe we do that next time. I'd like to build this out so I don't have to come back and touch it for a while. But, okay. All right, so on vote system answer selected, it flashes the one that was selected as green or red, right, depending on if it was correct, which hops over to the answer control, just calls this select function, flashes things, and calls selected back here. Answer selected, question answered is correct. And there we have it. That's the whole back and forth process, both on server and on clients that we have. So lots of moving pieces here. Pretty fetching crazy. Hopefully I have kind of kept track of what runs where. All right, let's do that. We call it all peers. Okay, perfect. All peers. Updates the UI. What is added to an answer? Okay. Great. Assess votes. In this vote we want to look at the answer control. We have this vote local, which then calls vote answer on all peers, which is what calls this voted.emit, which is what is connected to on answer voted. So all peers get this vote answer vote system.vote. So all the peers have this running. Okay, multiplayer games, man. Let's fetch and go. There's a lot that goes into it. All right, so we've got that in place. Don't start the timer until everyone was voted. That's complete. Let's build the voting mechanism that we used. Okay, last thing we need to do then is set up this vote system.teardown. I'm gonna get rid of this answers voted. I don't care about it. I'm gonna get rid of this as well. I'm gonna get rid of this because I deleted the timers. We don't need it. Okay. So our last thing to do then is wire up the vote system. So vote system. Perfect. Yeah. I guess I'll take it. Gotta love GitHub Copilot. That was awesome. Okay, so that should work. And our vote system is in auto load, so it's there. We don't have to worry about adding it to the scene like we do with the experience system and like the item system and other systems that I have that are more that aren't singletons. Okay, let's see if our generalized system for voting works. Hopefully we've resolved some of the bugs it had previously. Well, I'm gonna have time to test it once, and then I gotta hop off and do some other things. So I'm gonna host the game. Wait for it to start. I'm gonna join a game. Ooh. My laptop's struggling. There we go. All right, we're in. Pick up some experience. Oh, dang, okay. I gotta get rid of these questions that aren't, that are code questions. They just don't help. Okay, give me, okay. All right, so what is Python? This is a type of snake. All right, that shouldn't do anything. We'll wait 3 seconds. Perfect. Now player 2, we're gonna click on this one. It didn't call it over here. All right. Do we get any errors? All right, RPC vote answer is not allowed. Okay, I was kind of worried about this actually. Show me the whole thing. Vote is 2, authority is 1. Okay, so that is something we're going to need to resolve. So basically the issue was that the way that Godot handles multiplayer is it determines who has the authority to call functions, set values across clients. And it's based on each node, so each entity that you see. So this button here, since it was created on both, since it was created on the server side, the server has ownership of that, and so a client can't call the function. I wonder if there's an easy way to resolve that so that anyone could call the function, even if it's not local or master or anything like that. I'll take a look into that. But so I mean, we made some progress. I gotta hop off. It worked. Our generalized system is functioning. So we solved some bugs, discovered some more pressing matters with the ownership dealio that we can fix next time. And now we're gonna that'll be next. That'll be tomorrow. So thanks so much, guys, for hopping on. I will see you tomorrow. If I can end my stream, I feel like. Oh, my computer crapped out. But it's still streaming. Saya.